This episode is proudly supported by East Coast Beverages.
So my name's Samuel James Lentini. Really what's special about East Coast Beverages and about what we do is that we are vertically integrated. We grow, we squeeze, we bottle, we blend everything here on site. And not only that, I think what is really special is that all of the bars and restaurants and hospitality venues, they're able to come and visit our site. And once they come to our site, they see what our process is and they can actually see that the lemons, limes and oranges are all getting squeezed here, where we're not using a concentrate that comes from overseas. What is really special is that we invite people to come here. We have events here, and we're a family business, and we're able to really just work off the foundations that my grandfather built many years ago and continue a quality product range.
For more information, go to eastcoastbeverages.com.au.
The satisfaction to just see somebody in the eyes and how they like your food and how they're happy about your customer service and just like have a chat with them about their life, their day or my day. It just would make me, like come in the restaurant every day and do what I do.
Hello, everybody. It's Dani Valent here with you, and we are doing Dirty Linen. We are getting into it. So happy to have your company for this food chat. And today we are heading to the Apple Isle, Tasmania. Our guest today is Federica Andrisani, who with her partner Oskar Rossi runs Fico in Hobart and an associated pasta bar. I have loved hearing about Fico over the past decade. Haven't got there yet, but I reckon this conversation is going to have me checking flights to Hobart and booking in immediately. Federica, welcome to Dirty Linen.
Hi, thank you for having me.
Thanks for coming on for a chat. I know that you and Oskar chatted to my colleague Anthony Huckstep on Deep in the Weeds a few years ago, but I'm sure a lot has happened since then. I know that recently you and Oskar have been on a trip. I'd love you to talk about that and tell me about taking a break from a restaurant.
That was very nice. It was the first holiday we have in many years that was like quite relaxing. We have like 5 weeks off and went we went in Italy, Provence, Basque Country and back to the Dolomites the last week. And was a very big trip, but was very enjoyable. We spent some time with my family in Amalfi. That was great. It was my father's 70th birthday. We also bring along a business partner from Pitzi. Then I went with us for like a week there. We have some amazing food, some great family time. And after we just spent 3 weeks traveling in the car, go from Italy to Basque Country. We actually went with my parents. That was a little bit was a little bit stressful eventually, but we get there. We went there. It was fine.
What's it like for you leaving your baby, like closing up for a month and going off on the other side of the world?
I guess it's the same things when you probably have a kid and you live with, with like a babysitter. You feel guilty, but also you feel relieved, I guess. It's okay. Like the restaurant is closed, so it's like we don't really need to worry about much. So we don't have somebody else run a restaurant for us. When we come back here, it's pretty much all the same anyway. So
yeah, brilliant. Yeah. And tell me about, traveling around Europe and how that sort of feeds into inspiration that you can bring back to Tassie.
Was very different a long time before when we was going holiday in Europe and have food and restaurants and things. We don't do much Michelin star anymore or fancy restaurant. We just try to enjoy the moment and just go in like a very simple bistro, very traditional places and things. So what inspires us is more like people that work there, maybe more than food, because food is so like in Tasmania in particular is so like I don't know how I say it, like it's very stick with the Tasmanian ingredients. You just need to work around what is available in that day, that time of year, and food here inspire your cooking. When you go in Europe, you find completely different ingredients, so you can't really transfer much in the cooking that we do here in Fico or in Hobart anyway. So what inspired me mostly is people that work in the industry, I guess.
So tell me about that. Like, what do you see over there in terms of the way people work, or the way that restaurants operate, the way that restaurants fit into the world? Like, how does that inspire you?
We went in Provence, and every restaurant there does a set menu, but it's very different than set menu you find in Italy or in Australia. It's just you choose there's 3 entrees, 3 mains, a couple of dessert, and maybe a cheese course. So you choose 1 entree, 1 main, and if you want, you can have a cheese and dessert. So it's a set menu, but you can choose what you want. That every restaurant being there, many restaurants do exactly the same formula. That is, I think, is really smart. It's because you give an option for the customer, but also do exactly the same things we do. So for the wastage is great in the kitchen, because you already know how many portions roughly you need to cook a day, and it's just a very smart way to do it, I guess.
I couldn't agree more. I mean, I think it's such a refreshing way to eat, and if you're traveling with a couple of people, you can still try everything. You can just everyone orders something, and you can share and taste. But I agree with you from just that ease, that back end ease of I suppose firstly just using the best produce, but then having no waste. And then as a diner, I find that so relaxing, that you don't have this. I mean, I'm very subject to menu anxiety, and just not wanting to try all the best things and not knowing quite how to do it. But I mean, do you think that's something that we might see more of in Australia, that style of dining?
Well, I hope so. I mean, in Fico, we do set menu, that is the 9 courses menu. And in Pitzi, the restaurant, we do a la carte. And it's just I feel sometimes having more an option that is not 9 courses or just this big menu you need to choose from. And like you said, I have a menu anxiety also when I go to a restaurant. I want to eat probably everything from the menu. So it's just but also I like to choose. So I'm more keen to don't do set menu most of the times, because I want to be in control of what I eat. And have that kind of formula, it is great because you still can choose. But you don't have too many options, I guess.
Yeah. And I mean, it's so interesting you talk about the ingredients in Tassie and how they inspire you. I find it so different in Europe, where there are so many more traditions around the ingredients. You feel like people are eating similar ingredients or dishes to that, that they've been eating for centuries, whereas Australia is so much more dynamic, and I guess there's a lot of freedom here. But I don't know, our food is perhaps less anchored in tradition. How does that balance strike you?
I think that in Australia there is actually strong traditions also, this mix of culture and things that is all, all these people that come in Australia a long time before, and they have their culture, their tradition, they mix all together. I think Australia is very strong in culture and traditions. You find a very traditional Italian, Asian food, Indian food, and is. Yeah, I think that actually Europe starts to be a little bit more loose with what they cook lately anyway. So you find a very simple trattoria in Italy, in Rome, in Milan, wherever, and they actually have very different ingredient in their traditional cooking also. Take from maybe mix with some spices from India, to say, or some different technique from Japan. And something I would probably not think about it, but that's actually what I find this trip that when we went in Italy was this is not so traditional anymore.
Maybe they're learning from Australia.
Probably.
Federico, for people such as myself who haven't been to Fico, give us the backstory. How did the restaurant come about, and what's your project there?
So it's long story short. I met my husband, Oskar, 11 or 12 years ago now. And we met in north of Italy. I was working in this restaurant, and he was a friend with my chef, so we met there. But very not easy to communicate in the beginning because I didn't speak English, I didn't speak Italian. So, but one thing we found that was very easy to communicate with was food. So we start just like easily, cooking together. And from the first week we met, we decided to open a restaurant together. It was obviously like a joke in the beginning, but after like 2-3 years, we opened Fico. And we didn't mean to move to Tasmania in the beginning, but it just came really easily because we did like a few pop-up around Hobart, and many people like what we were doing. And so we decided to look for a space, and we find a little news agency in Macquarie Street. And we open now. It's like 9 years in December, I guess. Yeah.
Definitely. Long story short, how has the restaurant changed over time from a food, wine, and service perspective?
Changed completely. Like I feel like we change very, very, very much, and the restaurant changed with us. Well, in the beginning, we was meant to open just like a little bistro, and was open like 6 days a week, lunch and dinner. It was just me and Oskar working in the restaurant. That was not really easy. But with the time, and mostly like during COVID, we realized that firstly, it was not possible just have a restaurant open 6 days a week, lunch and dinner, and we pretty much work every day, And we changed from be a la carte restaurant to a set menu restaurant, just because it was a lot of requests from customers. And they always were choosy anyway to just say, just ask Freddie and Oskar what they want to cook for me. So it was a lot easier to just move from a la carte to set menu. This is what the customer want. And we change with our approach on pretty much everything. Approach on food, approach on lifestyle, approach on customer service. A lot of changes.
Interesting. I mean, a lot of people went to a set menu, in or out of lockdown during those pandemic years, but then a lot of people switched back to a la carte. What is it that's made you stick with it?
I guess the request from the customers. They really like what we do with our set menu. So we never change the structure of the set menu. It's always very similar because the formula works, and customer like what we do. And it was naturally after a few years also open Pitzi, the other restaurant, is pasta bar, because another side of the customer is, the other part of the customer is the one they want Fico a la carte simple that was in the beginning. So we just kind of split Fico in two. And one is a la carte now and one is set menu, I guess. So they are very close to each other also, the restaurants. So.
Right. Interesting. I mean, I'd love you to talk more about the lifestyle side of it. And, it's being a couple running a restaurant, and our two restaurants can be pretty challenging. You've had some very challenging years in hospitality to work your way through. How have you managed to, have a life in and around the business?
Well, we didn't manage yet. It's going a lot easier, but this is probably why we need 4 or 5 weeks off every year for just reconnected on what actually life is outside the restaurant, I guess, and what our relationship is. But definitely have 3 days off, or not really, but the restaurant is closed for 3 days, so have a full 1 day off or 2 days off a week. With Oskar is very important now. Personally, I just find a general exercise is very important for us. So we just have a dog now, and we go for big walks. And in Tasmania, it's great for this. It's go on the beach and take a big walk on the beach, and it's just simple things that we don't really get often, and it's just very important.
Is it? Do you have rules okay, we're not talking about the restaurants today, or is it always part of that?
No, that's impossible. It's just like, it's who we are, I guess. And it's like, oh, it's not just the rest. We don't speak just about the restaurant. We speak about, us, our future, the project, because there is not, it's not just the restaurant. It's, I think, like, Fico is me and Oskar, and is a project, and is all around what we do is about that, pretty much. I know it sounds sad maybe, but but it's it's alive. And without Oskar, I could not build what I built in the last 10 years, and I guess for him it's the same.
Yeah, it doesn't sound sad. It sounds like, so long as you're satisfied and excited about what you're creating, it sounds beautiful and brilliant. And obviously, people are loving it. I mean, tell me about the joys of running a restaurant together. Like, what's a good day for you?
Well, there is never a good day or a bad day. There is like many moments in a day. This is what I like about hospitality, and have a restaurant is just like no one emotion, but it's 1,000 emotions in a day, and many things happen in a day. And it's pretty much how I function. So this is what make me like, continue pushing for what we do. So I think like is just like I said before, is also like a balance. I mean, it's a long day, so you just try to have many little things to do in a day that really satisfying you. Like something really satisfying me, I don't know, can be just like make sure that you finish all emails in the morning before you enter the kitchen, or just like a small achievement every day that is, important just before go to service. But like the best things, of course, is like when you do service and you also serve the customers, and what the customer bring to you is like impossible to describe to somebody else that does a different job, like the satisfaction to just see somebody in the eyes and how they like your food and how they're happy about your customer service, and just like have a chat with them about their life, their day, or my day. It just what make me, like come in the restaurant every day and do what I do, because otherwise, that's no point. This is why I start cooking, because when I was cooking, I can see the happiness in somebody. It's the same things when, you go to an art gallery, you stop, you look at the painting, and it just like give you some kind of emotions. I think like bring food to somebody, any kind of food that make them happy. I try to do this at home all the time. I cook for Oskar cook for me, or we cook for friends, and it just like, if the food is good, you're good with the, nice people. It's just like, for me, it's the most important things.
That's so beautiful. But, the difference with a painter is the painter isn't like peeking out from around the corner most of the time, watching you get the pleasure out of the painting. Whereas you can look out into the dining room and see people loving what you're doing.
Yeah, exactly. Or maybe don't like it. That is probably the most difficult thing.
It's really beautiful. And I love this idea of, a day is full of all those moments, because it makes me feel like, you're not too attached to each individual event. It's like it's part of a continuum, and there's a flow. It sounds like there's a bit of a flow to it for you.
Yeah, but like also like you can't be attached on a small event all the time. It can be like a very beautiful event, so like really sad ones. I mean, like, in a day, something that upset you, something that make you really happy, because if something that upsets you take over or what make you happy, you're not working anymore, you're not functioning anymore. And you need to be on from 9 o'clock in the morning until midnight when you go in the restaurant, because also you have like, 6, 7, 8 staff that work for you, that need to look at you, and you need to be 100% for them, because you want them around they're 100% for you. And if you don't lead them and you don't show them how you want, they need to understand that you are the first one to put, come with 100% smile and do your job how it's supposed to be done. So, yeah.
Yeah. What about, like, how do you and Oskar differ in running a restaurant? Like, what do you bring to it? What does he bring to it?
Well, we're very different kind of people, and we we are just, I don't know. He's, I guess, more like a bouncy, maybe. I don't know. He's, I don't know, make everybody laugh most of the times. I'm more maybe in a drastic situation. I'm a little bit more calm and more reasonable. But we split like a work 50-50. And the good things about us that we complement each other, I guess. When one is down, the other one try to put the other one up, and we try to don't, push the other down any time.
You mentioned how important local producers are to you, Freddie. I'd love you to talk about some of the producers that inspire you, and maybe share the dish creation process.
Yeah, I mean. Like I said, it's not really. Yeah, we usually when me and Oskar think about a dish for the menu, we obviously come with some kind of idea in the beginning, and after we try to work around what we have and what the producer give to us. Most of the times doesn't really work because what you have in your mind is just so different than what actually come on the table. So there is every individual producers just give us something that is completely unique, and change what they give it to us today can change in a week. So we need to make the most of. We have I love a cheese producer from Marion Bay that is from Tongola Farm. I really love what he does. He does goat cheese, and we always have a cheese course in the menu. We obviously we try to don't change too much. We try to have the product naturally as possible on the plate, but with and with his cheeses, it's always a pleasure to work with them. We do risotto, we do pasta, or we eventually do, like I said, a small cheese course that at the moment is just a little tart with apple glaze and caraway seeds, but. I think he does really, really good job with his cheeses.
Oh, beautiful. And I mean, you must have come back and spring's starting to do its thing. What are some of the vegetables that are coming through that you're excited about?
Well, spring starts in Tasmania, maybe in few weeks. But white asparagus are coming this week, and I'm very excited about it. Yeah.
Oh, beautiful. What are you going to do with that?
Well, we probably think to keep a dish vegetarian and maybe do a first course with that. But at the moment we are doing a chamamushi, so it's a celeriac chamamushi. Maybe we are going to change for maybe a white asparagus one, but we are not 100% sure yet.
Wow. Oh, that sounds excellent. So what will happen? You'll get the white asparagus in. Will you bake the chamamushi and just see how it strikes you?
Well,
What's
I think
the
the first things is we see how big the asparagus are, because they can be really small or can be thick and big, because if they're very thick and big, it's just nice to just steam them and serve with a very simple sauce. Just leave the asparagus like that. But if they're like probably small or different sizes and things, so we just probably will juice the bottom of the asparagus and make like a juice, so we can do the chamamushi with that and bake, and maybe on top use the tips of the asparagus, and was thinking maybe with some kind of caviar that is always nice, white asparagus and caviar. Not sure, like I said, not sure yet.
No, but I love that. I mean, that must give you so much energy to have this, the produce and the dish creation, experimentation, and this sort of constant dynamic approach to the menu.
Yeah, definitely. It's just very inspiring for us. Yes. And changing season is always very exciting, mostly when it's springtime.
Yeah, it's so great. And Freddie, tell me about the food scene in Tasmania. It just seems like there's so much happening at the moment. What does it feel like to be in it?
Well, I hope that more things is going to open, actually. We are very proud to be here for 10 years almost, and very proud of what actually Hobart has became. Because when I first time I arrived here, it was 11 years ago, like I said, and was very different, really, really different. But now, it is like a pleasure be here, go around, eat other people's food is always very exciting. What I think that we like a hospitality here and restaurant here, I think that we are very different from each other. Every restaurant does a very unique kind of food. They have their own identity that is something that you don't find easily in like a small city or in a city anyway. We cook very different food and we have very strong identity. So that is really, really interesting. Really interesting to go and try the food that the other people are doing. I think it's great. Still when we actually use the same ingredient, but we do completely different food.
Oh, that must be so exciting and so satisfying for the producers as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, brilliant. And tell me about the service style in the restaurant, Freddie. Like, what sort of atmosphere do you hope to create and what kind of experience do you want your customers to have?
So for the last 4 or 5 years, probably, I'm actually doing service on the floor most of the times because it's... when we open Fico, we hope that customer will feel like home. And I think that having me on the floor, welcome customers, actually make them feel really like that. And when I'm actually training staff in front of house, they can also see how I act with the customers and they can be inspired on what I do and how I do it, so they can reflect the experience with their own customers. So I think is just what we want is like people come and eat in our house kind of. And we also have everything we did in the restaurant was from scratch, made from, me and Oskar and Oskar's father. There was an artist. He did all the art in the restaurant and our tabletops are made from him. And it's just, we designed the restaurant. We designed everything around us, I guess, and around the customers.
Oh, beautiful. Well, you've definitely inspired me to check flights to Hobart. I'm overdue for a visit. Freddie, is there anything else that you'd like to leave us with today? Anything you're excited about or anything you want people to know about what you do?
Well, I guess for people that never been here, I hope one time they can come and experience what we do, but also experience what Tasmania is all about it. And I hope in the future we will have a more. There is a lot of people from interstate and people that come and visit Tasmania, but we probably need a little bit more tourists down here, and more people try to discover new things around Tasmania. Yeah.
Okay, I'm definitely happy to add to the statistics.
All right.
Thanks, Freddie. Really great to chat to you.
No, thank you. Thank you.
This is Dirty Linen, and I'm Dani Valent. We air the issues that the hospitality industry finds hard to talk about, hearing from different people with unique perspectives. We want to hear from you as well. If you have something that needs to be said about a topic, get in touch so we can include your perspective. Contact us at dirtylinen@deepintheweeds.com.au or hit us up on Insta at Dirty Linen Podcast. We can't wait to hear from you.
This